Hello Xenos, I'm Community Ambassador Lady DZ, and this is Stellaris Dev Diary number 420, Scientific Arkships, Waylines, and the Sacred Path, written by Game Director Eladrin. Greetings Stellaris community. For years, we have said that moving planets are impossible. For years, we have said even mentioning it would make programmers cry. Well, we like to do the impossible, and we also apparently like to make our programmers cry. Because despite having to change the carpets twice due to water damage, colonies have been separated from planets. We should probably let you know that this is going to break your mods. In case you missed our announcement earlier this week, Stellaris 4.4 Pegasus and the Nomads expansion will be released on June 15th. Alfray Stryke is here with more details. Hi folks, roughly a year ago, I spoke to you about ships that were made out of meat. Today we're instead talking about ships that aren't made of meat, namely Arkships and Logistic Ships. As a reminder, consider all screenshots in this dev diary to be from work-in-progress builds of the game. Numbers, UI elements, and text may change in the final release. As a side note, there are a lot of screenshots in this dev diary, so I definitely recommend going to the link that we've posted below and checking them out for yourselves because they're very pretty. Arkships act as colonies, shipyards, and hybrid military/science ships for nomadic empires. For today's discussion, we'll be focusing on scientific Arkships with civilian and military Arkships to be explored in future dev diaries. To begin with, when creating a nomadic empire, the Arkship selection screen replaces the homeworld selection screen. This allows you to select your empire's starting Arkship. Over the course of the game, you'll be able to research the other Arkship classes, in addition to technologies that enable the construction of new Arkships or upgrading the tier of any Arkship you own. Although the three Arkship classes differ in specialization, they all carry the colonies of nomadic empires, act as mobile shipyards, come equipped with strikecraft and point defenses, and enable unique fleet orders. Nomadic empires also have access to the Arkship Development Council agenda, which replaces the Infinite Opportunities agenda as your starting agenda. The modifiers provided by this agenda depend on your starting Arkship class. Thus, for a scientific Arkship, we gain modifiers suitable for economic and military development. As we progress through the technology tree, this agenda will grant progress in all Arkship technologies. All Arkships have access to an array of fleet orders, of which the top 4 should be familiar to most players. Bombardment Stance. Select the bombardment stance of the Arkship. Build Megastructure. Opens the build menu for megastructures, Arkships, and Waystations. Fleet Stance. Select the fleet stance of the Arkship. Insufficient intel. This is a sentence that should be blurred while I'm talking about it in the video dev diary. Fleet Automation. Allow selection of automated orders for the Arkship. Survey, as per the science ship order, but with either a scientist or commander in charge of the Arkship fleet. Deep Scan, a more thorough version of Survey. Deep Scan has a chance to reveal previously undetected resources, anomalies, or archaeology sites. Although celestial objects can be deep scanned multiple times, the chance of a discovery drops for each successive deep scan. This also is a sentence that should be redacted for fun and future dev diaries. This order requires the Arkship to satisfy one of the following requirements. Is it a scientific Arkship of tier 2 or 3? Is it equipped with an advanced sensor array module? Is it equipped with a subspace imaging spinal mount? Like Survey, this order requires that the Arkship fleet has a leader in charge. This is another bullet point that should be redacted. This is another bullet point that should be redacted. Spinal Mount Ability. Most spinal mounts that can be constructed on an Arkship grant an additional special ability. Do note that Arkships cannot research anomalies, archaeology sites, or astral rifts, but can complete some special projects. This is because we don't want your entire colony being eaten by a dimensional horror or what other evil our content designers have made for the last decade. For researching anomalies, archaeological sites, astral rifts, and special projects, nomadic empires still have access to science ships. As Arkships are unique, we felt it appropriate to give them a custom UI for their design and upgrading, which is found in the Ship Controls tab of the Colony UI for Arkships. This tab replaces the Armies tab. The top of the UI shows the Arkship class and tier, current HP, armor, shields, pops, and cloaking detection if your First Contact DLC is enabled. To the right, you have buttons to upgrade the Arkship tier and view the currently equipped ship components. Note that components on an Arkship are automatically upgraded depending on researched technologies. To install additional components or add additional functionality to the Arkship, you can build either internal systems or external modules. The category of systems are aura emitters, colony support, defenses, economic support, naval support, and utilities. As an example, here's the Ancient Suspension Field module, which adds 3 times large Ancient Suspension Field components to the Arkship. There's a screenshot here you should probably go look at. The categories of modules are energy weapons, missile weapons, naval support, point defense weapons, projectile weapons, strike craft, and utilities. As an example, here's the Advanced Sensor Array, which increases the effectiveness of the Arkship sensors. There's another screenshot here you should go look at. Finally, Tier 3 Arkships can equip a single spinal mount located between the habitable arms of the Arkship. These are powerful late-game installations designed to be mobile kilo structures. Today we'll show off the Capital Shipyard and the Subspace Imager. The Capital Shipyard does not grant access to any spinal mount ability. Instead, it acts as a mobile kilo shipyard, improving the construction speed of the Arkship and construction queues available. The Subspace Imaging Array is the ultimate mobile sensor array, capable of tracking enemy fleets at incredible ranges. In addition to the modifiers it provides, it also enables the Subspace Image System fleet order. This allows the Arkship to deep scan an entire system at once, with a much higher chance of success, while also having the chance to discover previously undiscovered hyperlanes or wormholes. Logistic ships are the nomadic replacement for construction ships. They are primarily used to construct new waystations, collect resources from waystations, conduct special projects that require construction ships, and this is another part of a sentence that should be redacted in our video dev diary. Although logistic ships can construct megastructures, they are incapable of building new Arkships. Unlike construction ships, the maximum number of logistic ships a nomadic empire can support is restricted by technologies and their waylines. Each logistic ship has an internal resource stockpile which is transferred into your empire stockpiles whenever they visit an Arkship. This stockpile can be viewed both in the Fleet UI for logistic ships and the Outliner. The collection of resources from waystations and dropping them off to Arkships can be automated. Perhaps Alfray lied a little when he said that we're going to be talking about ships that aren't made of meat. When using a biological ship set, these ships will, in fact, be made of meat. Waystations are how nomadic empires exert influence over a system without claiming it as theirs. Depending on the installed modules, waystations collect resources from celestial deposits, observe pre-FTL civilizations, allow for megastructure construction, and more. All waystations, regardless of level, use your station capacity. This differs from station capacity for star bases, where outposts are exempted. Incidentally, we're looking at having orbital rings and deep space citadels use 1 and 3 station capacity, respectively. Instead of technologies related to improved star bases, nomadic empires gain access to technologies to improve their waystations and logistic ships. If multiple waystations are built in neighboring systems, they will automatically form a wayline, appear in the outline as a single entry, with a dedicated UI to show all waystations in that wayline. Depending on modules installed on the waystations, waylines are capable of propagating modifiers to systems and empires connected to them. Nomadic empires can build waystations in systems owned by settled empires, though doing so will incur opinion penalties, scaling with the number of waystations present and various policies of the empires involved. To remove this penalty, nomadic empires can sign diplomatic agreements with settled empires to allow waystation construction within their systems. Likewise, 2 nomadic empires with neighboring waylines can also sign a wayline pact. Regardless of the empires who have signed the agreement, a wayline pact allows for both to benefit from the wayline modifiers of the other, and for their waylines to propagate each other's wayline modifiers. Now we pass the dev diary on to PDS Boj to discuss the next of our nomadic origins. PDS Boj is a content designer on Stellaris, here to talk about the Sacred Path, the new spiritualist origin in our upcoming Nomads expansion. Nomadic empires are defined by their wandering, but what if your wandering had a purpose? The Sacred Path is an origin for spiritualist empires whose ancestors left behind a set of star charts, marking a number of sacred sites scattered across the galaxy. Your people believe they are duty-bound to find them all. Whether that duty is divine obligation, historical curiosity, or just a really old story someone wrote down once, well, that's for you to discover. When you start with a Sacred Path, your Arkship comes with a unique district specialization, the Consecrated Community. This replaces your standard civilian jobs with 3 new roles that reflect your empire's spiritual hierarchy. High Pilgrims are your elite clergy. They produce unity, and they are very serious about the path. Devoted Adepts are specialist researchers and interpreters of scripture. They also make your ships faster, which I find very on brand for a nomadic priesthood. Faithful Acolytes are the everyday faithful. They keep the lights on and food on the table, which even the most devout pilgrim appreciates. Your first decision comes almost immediately. After 5 days of travel, your council brings the ancient star charts forward and asks the question everyone has been avoiding. Are you following this pilgrimage out of faith, or are you going to chart your own path? This choice influences which of your 3 classes benefits most early in the game, so it's worth thinking about your playstyle before you click. From here, the origin unfolds as a series of special projects. Survey sacred sites, each one a remnant of your ancestors' journey. We won't spoil all of them, but we will say that each site has a distinct identity and asks you a different question about faith, history, and what your empire actually believes. A few highlights. The Cradle is a sacred location where your ancestors supposedly received divine guidance, except there's no physical evidence of any presence whatsoever. You can declare the faith validated anyway, or accept that history may have been embellished somewhere along the way. Both choices have consequences. The Intelligence is an ancient AI that greets your survey team with a message. Worship is enabled. Peace may now commence. You can venerate it, bring it aboard your Arkship, or destroy it. After visiting all sites, your empire faces its defining moment. Was any of this real? Did the ancestors receive divine guidance, or did they just write down a very compelling story? The Sacred Path is an origin for players who want their nomadic run to feel like a journey, one where the choices you make along the way shape not just your modifiers, but how your empire understands itself by the end of the game. I'm really proud of how it came together, and I'm excited to see which endings people gravitate towards. My bet is on the Intelligence evoking some strong opinions in the community. And that's all from PDS Bulge for now. At this point in the Dev Diary, there's a table with a non-exhaustive preview of the Dev Diary schedule, subject to slight changes if we suddenly remember a feature. On May 7th, we talked about 10 years of Stellaris, Utopian Abundance, and the Voidfarer's origin. Today we've covered an Arkship overview, Waylines and Logistic Ships, Scientific Arkships, the Spinal Mart Capital Shipyard, and the Spinal Mount Subspace Imaging Array, and the Sacred Path origin. On May 21st, we'll be looking at contracts, life on the Arkship, operational reserves, civilian Arkships, Spinal Mount's planetary reprocessor, nomadic empires and kilostructures, and the Forever Crew's origin. May 28th will bring Defender of the Galaxy, Champions Forge Live, Nomadic Paragons, the Military Arkship and Arkship Combat, Spinal Mount Devastator Mount, and the Heirs of the Khan origin. June 4th, we'll see Stellar Canyon, Civics, Spinal Mount Exodus Jump, Embarking and Settlement, and a new pre-scripted empire. June 11th sees the Nomads and 4.4 Pegasus preliminary release notes, and a little bit more about the Spinal Mount Stellar engine. After release, June 18th, Nomads have arrived, and what's next? And on June 25th, we're going to take a look at the Art of Nomads. So next week, we'll be taking a trip on the Forever Cruise, go over contracts and life on an Arkship. We'll also take a closer look at the civilian Arkship and reveal another Spinal Mount. Feel free to click over to the Paradox forums to read this dev diary in its entirety, as well as see the number of screenshots that our devs have included. That's it for now, and we'll see you next time.